in the construction. First is consultant, second is contractor, and the third is owner. Nah, the first phase of the project is by the needs of the owner. For example, I want to have a house. So this is the need of the owner. And then after you have the need, you try to make the project formulation process. For example, the user or if you take a look, it is a part of user requirement. For example, I need a house. And then I try to formulate my needs. For example, I want a house that contains 2 rooms because I already have 1 child. So I will make sure that my child has his own room. And then from this project formulation process, I decided that I need 2 rooms and I need 1 bedroom, for example. This is the user requirement. After we make our formulation process, we try to make the concept of formulation. The concept of formulation, for example, I want 2 rooms, but I want 1 room has a bigger size than the other because I will live with my wife, for example. Now, that's actually the project concept formulation. And then we try to doing the planning process. What kind of planning process that we do? If we look on this 2 cycle, this is the cycle that only by the owner, only by me. But on this process, in the planning process, we try to make the project feasibility and scope. For example, I want a house that contains 2 rooms, but then I already have the limit of budget, for example, 100 million rupiah. Now, based on this demand, it will be calculated is it possible for us to build a house with 2 rooms with 100,000 with 100 million rupiah. If it is possible, so we can go to the next level. But then, if I only have money, for example, only 10 million, but I want to buy a house with 2 rooms, it's not feasible at all because you need more money. Now, based on those feasibility and scope, if it is possible, we go to the next level of cycle. But then, if you're not feasible, please make sure that your demand is stopped in this kind of cycle. Ya, jadi kalau kamu nggak punya uang mau bangun rumah, ya sudah, jangan dilanjutkan ke proses selanjutnya. Udah berhenti sampai sini. Nah, this happens in all the projects of government. For example, the government wants to build jalan tol itu bahasa Inggrisnya apa ya?
Highway.
For example, the government want to build a highway, but then after the calculation, the price of the land is too high, and then the income from those kind of highway is very low. Those kind of projects means that it is not feasible and not profitable for us to build a highway. So in this kind of planning process, we can stop our willingness to build a highway since it is not possible and not giving any profit. Then, if our calculation is good and the land price is in the cheap price and the income is very high, so we can go to the next level. This is actually the planning process. The feasibility and scope on here, we can hire the consultant of business, for example, or we can hire the expertise on the calculation, right? So on this kind of planning process, perhaps we have the third party that can able to help us to calculate whether or not it is feasible. If the project is feasible, we can do the next level in engineering and design process. Then, to go to this kind of process, we have project scope definition. For example, I want to build a house, and I want to have the project scope definition such as I want the house is built in this kind of place, and make sure that the accessibility of the way is good, for example. And we make the project scope of definition, for example, what kind of part of the building that we want to give, for example. I want my ceramic, my floor use the high quality ceramic, for example. And I want my house use the very good quality of lighting ya, lampu misalnya, and or lamp. That we call as project scope definition. Now, after we make a project scope definition, now we hire on here consultant, ya. Consultant tahu ya, konsultan. Consultant not only coming from the civil engineering, but also can from many expertise, for example, the architect. Nah, so on this kind of process, we have the architect that drawing my home, and on this consultant also we have the civil engineer to calculate the cost of the project. Nah, this kind of process, where are we now? We try to be the cost estimate as the consultant. So if you have the ability to drawing a house for your client, and then you want to calculate the price of the project, here you are. Here is your position right now. We make the project engineering and design. Now, on this kind of process, we have products such as DED. Apa itu DED? Ada yang tahu? Anyone know DED? Apa? DED itu apa?
Technical specification.
Apa?
Oh, nggak salah. Technical specification.
No. DED. Nggak tahu ya DED.
Gambar.
Ya, gambar. DED itu kepanjangannya Detail Engineering Design. Oke, I will write it on the PowerPoint. Okay. Detail Engineering Design. Nah, the product of detail engineering design is drawing. I'm sure and I believe you already know about DED because you have the technical drawing, mata kuliah gambar teknik, ya, in the second semester when you use AutoCAD. We call that drawing is DED, Detail Engineering Design. And also we provide the cost estimate, or in Indonesia we call it Rencana Anggaran Biaya atau RAB. And the product of consultant here not only DED and cost estimate, but also the specification. Yeah, the specification. So in this kind of process, we have three products: detail engineering design, cost estimate, and specification. Okay. After we hire the consultant, we have the full project description, such as what kind of work item that we have to do. We already know how much price that we want to provide, and then we doing the process of construction. Before the construction process, we have the election to select the contractor to doing our project. Nah, in this construction project, we have the contractor. So this is the end. This is the end of the consultant process. Jadi konsultan itu berhentinya di sini. Konsultan perencana namanya. Ya, apa ya? Konsultan perencana bahasa Inggrisnya apa ya?
Planner konsultan.
Apa?
Planner konsultan.
Planner.
Kurang tahu juga saya.
Oh ya, ya nggak apa-apa. Planner. We have the planner consultant on here. Yeah. But in the construction process, we also have the consultant, but we call it supervision consultant atau konsultan supervisi. Nah, berbeda ya, berbeda orang. On here we have the consultant supervision consultant, and we have the contractor. Nah, what actually doing by the contractor is built based on the detail engineering design that makes by the planner consultant. And the work of the consultant supervision to supervise and to make sure that the quality of the construction is fulfill the quality demand from the specification. Nah, jadi di proses ini ada dua orang, yaitu konsultan perencana dan konsultan pengawas. Konsultan pengawas dan kontraktor. Nah, but sebelum kita memilih kontraktor, before we select the contractor, we have process of tender. Apa itu tender? Ada yang tahu nggak? Tender itu apa ya? Ada bahasa Inggrisnya tender. Iya, tender ya. Oke, tender. Okay. Nah, when we doing tender, the contractor also make cost estimate. Ya, jadi yang membuat cost estimate itu not only the consultant planner, but also the contractor untuk menawar apa ya, for offering the price based on his own calculation. Nah, the winner of the contractor commonly the one that has the cheaper price to bid. Bid itu penawaran ya. The cheaper bid in the construction process. Nah, after construction process is done, we have the project completion and acceptance for use. Nah, in this kind of process, we invite the owner to the site of the construction. We make the check towards the quality of the construction. If the quality is fulfill the demand of the owner, so we have the process of acceptance for user. In this kind of process, we go to the next level, to the next cycle. We call it use and management process. Jadi on this kind of process, this only used by the owner. Jadi ini full sudah prosesnya dilakukan oleh owner. Jadi perawatan ya. Facility use and management. So in this kind of process, for example, me, I already have the house, and then I use the kind of my house, and I doing the operational. For example, I pay the tax, I pay the for the electricity and also for the water. Nah, we call it use management. Now, in the end of the process, if I already fulfill the needs of my house, the last process is disposal process or demolition atau penghancuran ya. Jadi mungkin ini adalah cycle yang belum terjelaskan di PPT yang sebelumnya. The cycle is not yet explained in the PowerPoint that's given by the Miss Eri. Nah, if someday my house is too tiny and I want to get more bigger house, of course I will doing the disposal process. We call it the facility demolition or conversion. Jadi seperti ini ya. process of construction. In the developed country, negara maju, hal seperti ini sudah wajar dilakukan ya, disposal process. Why? Because the number of land is limited, while the number of people is increasing. So that's why the building will grow high-rise, will build in the high-rise building. Now, if you take a look at our campus in Polynema, 10 years ago, our building is maximum only second floor. Right? But then now, we try to build our building into high-rise building. Because of what? Because the need of the area is high, but the land that we own is very limited. So we do the disposal process. Now, this